And Jesus said to the lawyer, "Who was a neighbor to the man who fell among robbers?" And the lawyer answered, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus said, "Go and do likewise." Who is my neighbor? She came to the shelter looking for clothing. We all likely have a picture in our mind of a homeless person, bent over, looking older than their years, maybe lugging a shopping cart filled with bags, sorting through their possessions, clutching a snatch gleaned from the nearest garbage can. Not a willowy, graceful, perfect-skinned woman whose face looked like it should have been adorning a magazine rather than appearing in the doorway of a clothing ministry. She was on the run from addiction, partly recovering from addiction, but on the run from an abusive husband who would be hunting her and her son. Who is my neighbor? The nuns, yes, nuns, sat in their chairs waiting for the collection of characters they worked with to arrive. This was their second, perhaps third career. They had done things as younger people overseas, things like teaching Pakistani women midwifing skills for years and years. But when the church finally sent them home, they saw the drug problem around the city they called home, and they had to react. As nuns, they could do that. If they had come home as old men, as priests, the diocese doubtless would have stuck them in a church somewhere. But as nuns, well, the diocese cared far less what two nuns on the back nine of life would want to do. And now they had worked with addicts for 30 years. How many had they helped, rehoused, gotten back on their feet? Many, but who knows? The alum of their program still visited, sometimes arriving in cars usually reserved for the elite because they were now so successful. And yet, now both closer to 90 than to 80. They felt alone in their work. No one came to help anymore. Their garden was a shambles. Some of the houses they used to shelter their clients falling apart. They wondered if anyone who didn't need them cared anymore. Who was my neighbor? A large dog, sitting in a kennel in a shelter with 119 other dogs, countless cats. The one with that sticker, with that date on his kennel. Because despite every effort of the shelter staff, he couldn't get past an upbringing where he had been abused and become a functioning member of a human family. The baby in the stroller at the feeding program, unaware that she was in poverty. The man bearing all the marks of the truly insane, grunting and spitting his way on and off the subway all day long. The homeless man reading the gospel in the church service. Reading in an English that was all at once broken and eloquent, giving life to what might be considered one of the more mundane stories of Jesus, bringing it fire and beauty and making it a vehicle that spoke to a future of hope. A young woman who had entered seminary, wanting to help, but who came to her new church in the city at the end of COVID and realized that if she was going to help, if her church was going to help, she was going to have to get the people of the homeless encampment, an encampment surrounding and pressing upon the church to the point where it was hard to even open the front door. She was going to have to get those people to move on, even as she loved them, and they were becoming her friends. A man who collects books for those who have been, often for very good reason, shut away from society, but who now lead lives of despair and crushing loneliness, who work their prison jobs for 19 cents an hour, only to go to the prison store and find out everything that is in that store costs what it costs here. Having even purchased the paper to write the book-collecting man a letter pleading, please, please, send me something I can read. Who is my neighbor? The woman who keeps working at the church every day, at an age when her grandchildren are in college. Because the moms in this neighborhood need a place where they can come and just let their children play. The old man who has lived in the neighborhood all of his life, now serving the food in the food distribution program in the same ministry that allowed him to come and play baseball as a child. The hundreds of people coming through the door to be fed, to sit at tables and be served like human beings, to fill their stomachs just one time a day with something someone prepared just for them, to be greeted and cared for just for a little bit before returning to the heat, the danger, the bed of concrete, the cruelty of the streets. Who is my neighbor? Our senior high this past week journeyed to Philadelphia, and we found out. We work with ministries that allow us to meet our neighbors where they are at and to do something that will bring them hope. They worked with those who bring these ministries to others and let them know they are not alone in their efforts. Our youth, all of us, had the chance to live out the love of Jesus, the kind of love Jesus proclaims every time we pick up a Bible. You know, one of the things folks say to me about trips like this is, that's great. The kids will learn how good they have it. And I guess it's true. That happens. But that is not the point. That is not the point. It's not our job to teach us how happy and how lucky we all are, even if that message comes through. The point is to become human. Truly human. And to become human by seeing another being in front of you and finding a connection so deep you realize this person is like me. I am like them. It's not that I can become this person. No. It's they already are like me and I'm like them. That a homeless person, an addict, a struggling mother, a jobless father, a child born into poverty is not defined by what has happened to them, what they become, because they already are. They already are God's. A child of God just like us. Even the animal locked in the cage, in so many ways, is like us. The point is to realize what it is to be human. When Jesus tells this story of the Good Samaritan to the lawyer, who doubtless is trying to catch him, who doubtless is proud of his profession, his standing, his religion, his position before God, he takes that man and he makes him realize in his soul what it would be like to be beaten and bleeding and left at the side of the road all alone. Watching the people of privilege, the people he doubtless would hobnob with at the synagogue and at the temple, look down their noses at him with a combination of fear and loathing. Jesus tells the story to remind this man that to be a neighbor, to be human, is to recognize the humanity in the person in front of you, no matter their lot in life. To recognize that they are indeed a child of the divine, even if they are wearing rags. And in that we bring life and are given life and share the joy of life. Whether we are serving the food, mailing the book to the lonely man in jail, or helping those who have not chosen careers that would make them far more money, but instead careers that serve, or those who are retired and who have given up on hobbies just to take the time they have to give back, or even, yes, to sit with two old nuns and listen to their wisdom and let them know that, yes, we hear they've given everything, but we will share their burdens. We will share their burdens, and what they do still matters. The point is to become human. God became human to teach us to be human. Jesus became human to teach us how to be human. And becoming human is part of what saves us. Who is our neighbor? The trip this week made the answer easy, but the answer is always before us. The truth is always before us, lying in the one who stands before us, needing love even if they don't realize it. It's revealed when we love the God revealed in them and act on that love. It is revealed when we go and do likewise.